So where's my faith taken me in terms of what I do in the world? Taken me to some very strange places that I couldn't have imagined that I'd be in. If I look back 20 years, I could never have imagined that I'd be doing the things that I'm doing. So very unexpected. When I let go of my business and had no idea what I was going to do, what happened was a phone call. And I had let it be known that I would do a bit of volunteering. I thought, a few hours a week while I thought what to do. But I got a call from a Quaker charity saying, we've been offered a big church in the East End of London to turn into a community centre. Would you like to do it? Well, I'd never run a community centre. I didn't know what one was really. I didn't know anything about the East End. All I knew was sort of how to organise things, and I said yes. A huge leap of faith in the person that rang me to imagine that I might be able to do such a thing. Anyway, steep learning curve. Enormous fun. Absolutely loved it. And after a while, it became apparent that some kind of financial intervention was going to be necessary because the people I was working with were very poor. A lot of women from Bangladesh, huge overcrowding, huge unemployment, great disempowerment. And I remembered reading about something called the Grameen Bank, which was the beginning of microcredit in Bangladesh. And I'd been so impressed by it, although I'd never imagined I'd get involved with it, that I'd cut out the piece. And amazingly, it was 10 years before I found the piece. And I started looking into microcredit and exploring it in various countries. And I fortunately got a Churchill Fellowship and went to Bangladesh and Poland and France and looked at different models and came back and started a microcredit program in London. Although it's an ugly word and it sounds as if it's all about money, actually it's about trust and about community. And it's about empowering individuals to give them a tiny bit of money to allow them to start their own business, mostly working with women. And how beautiful that it should be one of the poorest countries of the world that gave it to us. So I ran that program in London, working with 22 nationalities for the first year, for a few years, then went travelling for a while, and recently have been asked to do it in various countries around the world. And so I have been to Madagascar and South Africa and Ghana to train local people, crucially that, to run these programs. And it is so beautiful. I so love it. I love the process. I love the signs of hope in somebody's eyes when you say, but yes, that's a wonderful idea. Of course you can do it. And I realise I'm using old skills actually, because as a literary agent it was important to elicit what somebody had to offer. And that's exactly what one does with microcredit, is to elicit the skill that is in every person, that of God in every person, that talent that every person has. There isn't anybody in the world who doesn't have it. And microcredit is an assertion of that. And when I was a literary agent, I used to think, oh, I wish I was a doctor. I wish I had a transferable skill. Who on earth wants a literary agent? What use can I be in the world? And now I have one. Now I have been given something that I can take to other parts of the world. And that is deeply precious to me. And there's a phrase, and I'm not sure where it comes from. Different people have given it to different, have suggested other people who've given it, which is where my deep joy meets the deep hunger of the world. I think everybody has a group of people to whom they're most drawn. Anyone who does any kind of action in the world. It may be that they're drawn to their local community. It may be they're drawn to people with mental health issues, or children, or the elderly. I seem to be drawn to people who are destitute, people on the edges of society. And I find it's crucial to me to keep going back to developing countries to have an injection of what they offer, because this is not about do-goodery. This is about relationship. This is about my learning from them. What I see are not people who are destitute. I see people who have huge self-respect, enormous reserves, and great joy in the way that they live with nothing. And I need reminding about what matters. I need reminding that it is possible to live with nothing and be joyful.